Yes, that was awesome. So let us go ahead and take a moment. If you are new here, we like to take a moment to be with each other, to give each other a little bit of love through hugging and acknowledging each other. So please, get up, tell somebody hi, give somebody a hug, look in somebody's eyes, let them know they matter. Thank you. I know. So.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
As I was listening to the Foundation Singers, I would love for us to do a peace concert for the community of Philadelphia. We can gather all the other groups that say that are doing peace work. Let's just have a concert and invite people in for the healing.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell.
Okay. Okay.
What's her name?
All right. All right. All finding our seats here. Today we're going to continue on talking about change as we have been doing all year. And our theme for the month is Change the Future. And I want to start us off by reading a couple of the principles that we'll be working with today. We're going to be working with spiritual principle 10 and 11. You can find these spiritual principles online. We've had copies. We do not have copies. Someone made it clear to me to stop saying that. But you can go online and you can do a search on Science of Mind, spiritual principles, and they'll pop right up for you. But at any rate, the two that we'll be working with today is spiritual principle number 10. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. And number 11, we believe in our own soul, our own spirit, and our own destiny. For we understand that the life of all is God. As I was preparing for today, I was thinking about the stories that used to come on. Well, they still do come on, and I was thinking, one life to live as the world change. But I thought it might be better if we said, one life to live as you change. One life to live as you change. So most of us who come to the Center of Peace or to communities that's New Thought, or any church or any religious type of facility, most of the time when we walk through the doors of the Center of Peace, we're looking for tools. We're looking for a tool, or we're looking for tools to change our lives. Pretty much everybody who walks through the doors, that's what got them to the door. We're looking for something to stop the pain. Or we might be looking for something to remove our fears and our anxieties. Or we might be looking for some information, perhaps to validate our existence. But we all enter in looking for something to change our lives. And so, if the very thing then that got us to the door is change, then we should be looking for change. We should be looking for change in our life. And some of us might think that not much has changed. It's the same old, same old. Not much going on, not much change with my life, not much change with my situation. And so while things seem to remain the same for some of us, as I see it, and this would be a good moment to take pause, because we know that things have changed. Things always change. Things are changing now. So a moment of pause to look at this idea of change. You've changed. If you've come through these doors, or if you've read any books, or if you've had any experience with this teaching, the truth is that you've changed. If you've been in the presence and you have benefited by a prayer or a word or a hug or any of that, then you've changed. Because the only thing that can change is you. That's the only thing that can change is you. So perhaps it is a grand invitation, or the grand invitation is for us to begin to see what has changed and what needs to be changed in our life. I'm going to say that one more time. A grand invitation for us to begin to see what has changed and what needs to be changed. This, in essence, is going the extra mile. This, in essence, is the spiritual practice that's before us. It's a call, perhaps, for us to step outside of what's convenient. To step outside of what's convenient. To step outside of what perhaps might be easy for you to do. Perhaps stepping outside ourselves beyond what's convenient and easy, and not worrying about what it might cost you or what you'll have to give up. It's an opportunity for us to be willing to be a little bit more risky, take a few more risks, to bet on life. So sometimes, the truth is that sometimes we say that we want to change our lives, but really what we are doing is, out of our own desperation, we are really wanting things to stay the same and for things outside of us to change. Mostly, some of us, things outside of us that we have no control over. That's what we are wanting to change. So this looking to see what has changed, and this looking within ourselves and our lives to see what needs to be changed, is a decision that each of us have to make. A decision to act. And I want to read you a little bit from The Inward Journey by Howard Thurman. And he has on page 80 a reading titled, The Decision to Act. And he says, "It's a wondrous thing that a decision to act releases energy into the personality. For days on end, a person may drift along without much energy, having no particular sense of direction, and having no will to change. Then something happens to alter the pattern. It may be something very simple and inconsequential in itself, but it stabs awake. It alarms. It disrupts. In a flash, one gets a vivid picture of oneself and it passes. The result is decision, sharp, definitive decision. In the wake of the decision, yes, even as part of the decision itself, energy is released. The act of decision sweeps all before it, and the life of the individual may be changed forever. He goes on to say that we may be sorry for the act. We may wish that we could undo it, and we may long for the wheels of time to reverse themselves so that we can start again. We may try to redeem the act, but some other act which counteracts what he has done or what we have done. He says we may do all of these things, but we cannot alter the finality of the act itself. And that's good, he says. It is good that this is so, for it means that the integrity of the act is private, it's personal, it's inescapable. And whatever may be the pressure to which a person yields, whatever may be the fears and the anxieties which push him or her to the point of decision from which his act flows, whatever may be the reason out of which his decision arises, when he acts is his responsibility, for the act is uniquely his own. Here at last is the place where a person may discover what manner of man or woman he or she is. Here we may sense the independence of the self. Here we may stand in our own right as a person. Here life claims us as part of its vast creative power. It may be in the integrity of an act that a man or a woman knows for himself or herself that he or she is created in the image of God. It's private, it's personal, it's inescapable. This decision to act, this decision to look into our own lives to see what needs to be changed and to see what's changed. In essence, it's an embracing of ourselves so much that we value ourselves, that we begin to value our own life, to value our own happiness, to value our own life, to value our own happiness and the happiness of others. No, I didn't say to make others happy, but to value their happiness. And so sometimes we say that things have changed, and we'll tell ourselves that things have changed. We'll say, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, or that I have this and I have that, and we're calling that change. We're calling that change. Ernest Holmes says that sometimes our conscious opinions and our subjective desires distorts. Sometimes our conscious opinions and our subjective desires distorts the truth. Sometimes it distorts the truth. In other words, the opinion we have about something that we're familiar with, that's subject to change. We have an opinion about something that we're very familiar with that's subject to change. Something you already know about. Your conscious opinion about something you already know about that's subjective is here one day, gone tomorrow. And so sometimes that's what we do. He says that it's a desire to rationalize, or perhaps it is a desire to do what's convenient. A desire within us to do what's convenient. Perhaps that's mediocre at best. To do what's convenient, that's mediocre at best. Well, I would say this is not true spirituality. It's